Connecting your cassette deck to an amplifier. Today we're looking at how to connect it up to an amplifier so that you can actually listen to it other than with headphones. If I had loads of money, I'd have the one you can see on screen now as an amplifier for my system. But maybe your budget is more like this one. They're both workable, they'll both work, they're both usable. Let's see how we go. So let's take a quick peek under the skin of the Yamaha. If you've seen the Yamaha video, you'll know that it's a gorgeous piece of kit. It's very expensive. However, it's got some features. It has a turntable input, and it also has this one, which is the input and output for tape or recording devices. And that's what you need. Using these inputs and outputs, it means that you can actually use the amplifier as a main switching point. Anything you connect to the amplifier as an input will be recorded onto the cassette deck. If your amplifier is more like one of these, but you're going to have to do it this way. This is what the back of a TEAC cassette deck looks like, or any other cassette deck probably. This is where we want to end up. And this is how we're going to get there. We need the amplifier and the cassette deck. Then we're going to connect the outputs of the cassette deck, the line out, to the input of the amplifier. And we're going to connect the inputs to whatever we want to connect it to via a splitter box, switcher box. People have different names for them. So that's going to have the signals fed into it, and we're going to have whatever we want selected via the four-way switch. Nice and simple. Then on this amplifier you use the toggle between the aux 1 and aux 2 to select what you want. This is the way you're going to connect it up with these things here, lead, a couple of 2-into-1s, and the switch box itself. You just ignore the yellow socket. I'll leave this up here for a few seconds in case you want to refer to it later. Next we're going to look at how to connect it up with active speakers or PC speakers. Let's see where we go from here. With these speakers you can see it's exactly the same as the amplifier, but with this PC speakers you're going to have to get another switch box involved. If you follow the diagram you can see it's quite easy. This is the mind-boggling bit. This is where we've actually got pictures to show you what it sort of looks like when it's done. So you've got your amplifier and your speakers and your everything there put together. Then you've got to start wiring it up. So there's your switcher. Then you've got to connect the amplifier to the speakers and to the line out of the cassette deck. That's nice and clear there. Now, those leads are what we used, just one of those leads and and the speaker wire lead. Now, we've got another one of those phono to phono leads to go to the two-way splitters, and that's going to connect the input of the cassette deck to the input of the amplifier using these leads here. And these sort of connectors, they're very good value for money, not really a problem, but if you don't use these you're going to have problems trying to get things to switch. So having done that, you connect all of that up like that. You will then decide what you want to feed into your switch box. I've chosen a record player, a cell phone or a video player, and a CD radio MP3 player. That means you've got 3 inputs and you've got a 4-input switch. That's fine. So you'd use the leads on here. You'd have the phono to phono, phono 3.5, and you just plug them in. That will now give you the happiness and the joy of being able to record anything that you can listen to and play it back nicely. And here's an example of how you do that. What I'm doing here is I've plugged the tablet into the record inputs and I'm playing it direct from the tablet into the recorder. That way, no problem, and it'll play back. Just adjusted the levels just to make sure they're about right. Once you've got yourself an amplifier, you're going to need speakers. These are passive speakers. They're the type that you use with a power amplifier. Again, depending on your budget, you may find that PC speakers or some more expensive ones like these ones here are the sort of thing that will do you. But it's up to you what you go for. It could be £12 or it could be £120. Or literally the sky's the limit. This is what the back of an amplifier looks like. And this is what the back of my amplifier looks like. As you can see, there's a lot of sockets and a lot of wires. On the bottom you can see my Kenwood amplifier receiver, and you can see it's got the ability to switch things and put things in different places. This is what you get with an amplifier, integrated amplifier, or that sort of thing. With the power speakers or PC speakers, you're going to have to find some other way of doing it. You're going to have to find some way of switching stuff in. Because I've got so many cassette decks, I've actually got 2 of these. They're 4-way switches. You can use one of these to be able to decide what you're going to put into your amplifier and what you're going to pull out of your amplifier. They're really good. It's trying to keep it simple. It gets complicated if you overthink these sort of things, but basically get your bit of equipment, read the instructions, have a look at it and connect it up one bit at a time. Make sure it works, then move on to the next bit and you should be fine. If you want any help, you can always ask questions in the comments section of the videos and I'll try and get back to you. It's not a problem. Let's try and make the world a better place. Let's try and keep it simple. Like, subscribe, share. Catch you later. Bye bye.